Okay, welcome ye to the Rees Company. I'm Steve Rees, the bull of American broadcasting, alongside the great Chris Morganti. Very excited this week. Our movie of the week is called Mazes and Monsters from 1982. And it's been a very exciting week, Chris.
Has it?
Well, I heard you got a piece of mail. That's all I know.
Well, I did. It's something from the Merriam Theater, one of the fine theaters we have here in Philadelphia. And it's for the Shen Yun, which I believe I'm pronouncing correctly. I don't know. But are you familiar with this at all, Steve?
I see the commercials constantly.
Yeah. It's apparently it's basically, for lack of a better description, Chinese ballet.
Oh, okay. Like Riverdance, but...
Yeah, sort of like that. And
I was about to say liver dance, but I guess that's probably not advisable.
Right. And on the back here, and I believe Jim can zoom in on this on post, but it says, "Come see what the Chinese Communist Party doesn't want you to see." Now, Steve, I am no communist.
Right.
And I'm certainly not a Chinese communist. But in this instance, we're in complete agreement. Neither they nor I want me to see this. Can you imagine paying to see another man dance? Who does that?
So you won't be buying tickets?
No, I won't.
Well, can I say something?
Sure.
I think we all know that the bull strives for accuracy, and I'd like to make a correction. The show we did, I guess 2 weeks ago, I misidentified the after-school special where Helen Hunt does crank and jumps out of a two-story window.
Right.
YouTube led me to believe it was called Just Say No, and I fell for it, but it was actually entitled Desperate Lives. So, Chris, do you have any errata from our previous show you'd like to own up to?
Nothing I can think of. Pretty sure I was 100% accurate.
Pretty sure, huh?
Yep.
You know, when I was 18 or 19, I had a bunch of friends that were all just dopes. And one night we were all sitting around listening to the Beatles. Magical Mystery Tour.
Okay. Good
Has
album.
that song Strawberry Fields Forever on it.
Oh, right.
And there's a line in that song, "No one I think is in my tree. I mean, it must be high or low." Now, somehow that night, Chris, I don't know how I discovered it, but it became obvious that one of my friends thought the line was, "No more laughing kids in my tree."
That's pretty far to go, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you hear it, you can't possibly think that's what you're hearing. And it also makes no sense because I think history tells us, but who knows these days, history of the Beatles, who knows what to believe or what not to believe. But I believe John said that line refers to him either being above or below everyone. All he knew was he was different. He didn't know which one it was.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. He's rocking in a free world. I'm a singular guy is basically what he's saying. So this dork, this friend of mine, kept singing, "No more laughing kids in my tree."
I mean, that doesn't even seem to fit the meter of the song.
Right. Well, he kept insisting, playing it over and over. And again, the lyrics are clear, but there was no convincing him he was wrong. So
Yeah.
I
Don't
said,
you hate people like that?
"Yeah, I absolutely do, Chris. It gets irritating." So I told him, I have the lyrics. I have the Blue Album on CD, and it has a lyric booklet. So I went and got that, and I showed it to him.
Right.
There it is, in print,
Okay.
from the Beatles, from Apple Productions. "No one I think is in my tree." Chris, it made no difference.
Right. He still did not believe you.
And his defense was that he saw the 1993 copyright date on the booklet, and he insisted that it was that was a 1993 version of the song, which I don't even know how that would be possible.
Oh, John re-recorded it in 1993. Everyone knows that.
And for that reason, because of his insistence, he continued to live a life of ignorance. And it was just that sort of ignorant zealotry we all witnessed last time when you claimed, Chris, and then stood by your assertion that the little girl in Law and Order, the 1976 made-for-television movie, was played by Meredith Baxter,
Which it was.
even though that was obviously not the case.
Okay. So now do you have the credits for that movie that you can show me who played that part? Much like you showed your friend the actual lyrics of the song, you're going to now tell me the actual name of that actress since you insist it was not Meredith Baxter.
It was an uncredited role. I don't need the cast credits I've seen the film. I know what Meredith Baxter looked like in 1976. She did not look like a 12-year-old girl.
Right. But you just went on this long story about how you proved through factual evidence that your friend was wrong, and yet you don't extend the same courtesy to me. You accept me. You expect me to just admit I'm wrong without any evidence whatsoever.
I maintain hearing the song once should have been enough for him to know what those words were.
I don't know.
Just as you saw the film, well, you saw it twice. You watched it beforehand, and then we watched clips of it.
I mean, I feel like we should have stopped talking about it because now this is going down that same road. You've been harping on me for a year now to get the vaccine. And I keep telling you, there's no evidence that works. And you have yet to supply me with any evidence for that. So,
all right. Well, and I guess tomorrow Neil Young demands his videos be taken off of YouTube. So anything else you want to talk about before we get to our movie of the week?
No.
Shall we hit the intro?
Sure.
Do we have the intro? I like the intro. It's very
Is this our first time playing this?
spectacular. No, we played it last time, I believe.
Okay.
The folks have seen this, but let's see it again. Okay, this week, as mentioned at the top of the program, the movie of the week is Mazes and Monsters. It aired on December 28th, 1982 on CBS. Do you know the backstory of this film, Chris?
Yeah. I remember the book that it's based on floating around my junior high school back in the 80s.
Kind of a cautionary tale.
I suppose, but I mean, I believe the book was mostly a rush job and not very authentic.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It's an adaptation of a novel by the same name written by Rona Jaffe, and she based her story on the sensational news coverage on the case of a boy called James Dallas Egbert III. Now, Egbert, he was a child prodigy, and he entered college early, struggled with addiction, mental health issues. One day in 1979, he wrote a suicide note and attempted to OD on Quaaludes. He survived, but
he ended up just having a great time that night.
Yeah, he lived through it, but they found his note before they found him. So naturally, he just hid at a friend's house for a while and let the world think he was dead.
I'm sure, why not?
Then he hopped a bus to New Orleans. So police began a search for Egbert, and the family hired a private investigator to help find him. And the story was widely reported by the media, who pounced on claims made by the PI that Egbert's disappearance was the result of a game of Dungeons and Dragons gone off the rails a bit. And that became the focal point of much of the news coverage related to the case, that his obsession with the game drove him to madness. So parents all over the country began to panic, warning their children against Dungeons and Dragons and the apparent dangers it presented. Sales of the game increased by a factor of 6.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this narrative the media ran with was completely false. The game played no role in Egbert's suicide attempt or disappearance. So after a few weeks on the lam, Egbert was found. The PI tracked him down in Louisiana. And on the ride home, he asked the investigator not to reveal the true story of his disappearance, which may be why the common belief persisted that his gaming led to a suicide attempt, at least long enough for the novel and film to stoke the hysteria all over again. Nearly 2 years later, he was still only 17. Egbert, he did die by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So Mazes and Monsters.
If only there had been some warning signs, they could have gotten him some help.
So the movie is called Mazes and Monsters, and so is the book. The phrase Mazes and Monsters is a stand-in for Dungeons and Dragons. And the book and the film is a fictionalized version of a story that was largely fiction to begin with. Who does it star, Chris?
Meredith Baxter?
No.
Oh. I'm out of guesses
I
then.
mean, you'll probably insist it does.
I thought I saw her in there somewhere.
I'm sure you
I
think
could
you
be
did.
wrong.
Tom Hanks, two-time Oscar winner Tom Hanks, but he wasn't there yet. He was between shows. He wasn't yet making motion pictures. His hit sitcom Bosom Buddies had ended its run earlier this year. He made guest appearances in other sitcoms, and the following year he'd have a recurring role on Family Ties as Ned Donnelly, brother of Elise Donnelly, played by Meredith Baxter, who played no one in the 1976 made-for-TV motion picture Law and Order. Now, Tom's coming up in a bit, But first, we meet an eccentric character called JJ.
Darling. Oh, darling. You've grown.
I'm not growing anymore. This is it.
Well, you have an IQ of 190. I don't suppose it matters if you're that tall. I'm late. Oh,
Oh, where are you going?
to the French consulate for
I think he bails
cocktails,
at
then
some
to a new
point.
place
They
in
ran out
Soho
of
for
bets.
dinner. Got rave
I think toward the
reviews.
end he's just
Everything
going
is
down.
less fattening.
Sounds
Even the champagne has less sugar. Before I go, I want to
Terrible
show you
acting
your
in
new
this scene.
birthday present.
But it's a month till my birthday.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You'll see it anyway.
Oh, no.
Yes, yes.
No.
Come on, Voila.
Oh, no. What have you done? It looks like a hospital.
Don't scream at me. I worked my tail off to get this finished in time.
Where's all my stuff? My furniture?
I can tell you don't like it.
Don't like it. I hate it.
JJ, do you know how many of my clients would give their eye teeth for a Julia Brockway room like this?
Your clients put their eye teeth in a glass of water every night.
You are still a fresh kid.
I think we get the idea, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, the acting in that scene is like, it looks like a hospital. And oh, don't be so cross with me. My God, it's bad.
Well, I guess he's meant to be an autistic.
I suppose. Now, the thing is he is also an underage boy genius.
Yeah.
Like the
Like the actual subject of the book, yeah.
which led me, as I'm watching this in the beginning, to think that he would be the guy who goes nuts. I mean, he's wearing goofy hats. He's a child prodigy. He carries around a talking bird with him everywhere he goes. He's a weird dude. So I assumed that he was the title, the protagonist, whatever.
Yeah, and when you pointed this out to me, I you thought the star of Bosom Buddies was going to be an ancillary character?
Right. It's not that I thought, obviously, Tom Hanks was going to play a big role in it. I thought he was going to, rescue this guy, Much like Saving Private Ryan. Tom Hanks didn't play Private Ryan, right? He played the guy that saved him. So I thought it was going to be something sort of like that. But I will say, when Tom Hanks shows up, you really see how poor the acting is from everyone else when you have as you say, a two-time Oscar winner stroll into the production. It really makes everyone else look bad.
So JJ, the dork we just met, he goes off to college where he runs into a friend, and this time he's a cowboy.
JJ!
Kate!
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Good. Have you seen Daniel?
Oh, I took it for granted he was up locked in some room with his latest woman of the week. I don't know.
Do we have a fourth player?
Well, I've typed up the notice, so I'm going to put it up in the bulletin board, okay?
Great, let's go. We've got to find a fourth player.
Right. Someone who doesn't flunk out or freak out.
Not like last year.
Okay, can we pause? Yeah, there's no way there's a girl on this RPG team.
Yeah.
And there's certainly not a guy who has a girl of the week.
Right. So now we've met two of the four people who will end up forming this gaming group.
Right.
Are we about to meet the third one?
We're about to, he's on his way, yes.
All right.
We're about to see Robbie, played by Tom Hanks.
But first we meet his parents, and this is entertaining.
Robbie, you're starting new at Grant, all new. That means no more games. You know what it did to your marks at Tufts. This time you're going to concentrate on your schoolwork, do you hear?
Yeah, I know, Dad. I will.
I see another D, you don't see another check.
Oh, Hall, leave him alone.
And you've had too much to drink.
Oh.
Again.
Threats and accusations, that's all you know.
I should have driven Robbie up myself.
Oh, you should. Well, may I remind you, whether you like it or not, we are still a family.
I hate it when you drink.
I drink to get through the day. I was a talented...
You can stop it there. So there we saw Tom Hanks as Mila Morganti. I mean, Robbie. Robbie, sorry.
All right, well, JJ has put a sign up in the cafeteria seeking a fourth player for his Mazes and Monsters group. Robbie notices it, and the two have a chat.
Many of mine. Listen, you play Mazes and Monsters? That's my sign there.
Yeah, J.J. Brockway. I used to, but I don't anymore.
Oh, that's too bad. We really need a fourth player.
Well, sorry.
Oh, wait, listen, I'm having an intimate little party tomorrow night for Bridget Bardot. It's her birthday. So if you want to show up around 8, second floor, it'll be the room with all the noise.
She really gonna be there?
Who?
Richard Bardot?
No, why would she come here?
Yes, he made a move much like the Red Baron. He switched from the regular cavalry to the air cavalry. So congrats to him.
Paying tribute to history.
Yeah. But I guess we skipped the third guy who's like some blonde hayseed. Am I remembering this correctly?
I don't know about the hayseed part. You're probably right, but he's very. He looks very. I don't know. But soap opera.
Oh, you're right. He's like a heartthrob type of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will see him. He is coming up. So Robbie attends the party where he meets JJ's friends. He takes a liking to Kate, who we met earlier. She was the girl. She convinces him to join their Mazes and Monsters team. Is it a team?
I don't know.
I don't know what they call it. He does warn her that he got carried away last time and neglected his studies as a result of playing this game.
Yeah.
So I guess we see the first time they convene.
There's a wasteland of gnarled hills covered with withered trees and dried grass. Beneath these hills is the entrance to the forbidden mazes of the Jinnerak. It is rumored that within these mazes lives a mutated people. Once human, they are now unspeakably vicious.
Yeah, there he is.
It is also known that there are wondrous treasures within these mazes for those brave and clever enough to find them. Thus warned, shall ye enter?
He's,
Let the journey begin.
Dungeon master. You run the game when you're the dungeon master. And the other three are they portray characters going through a dungeon or whatever.
What do you mean whatever, Chris? You know a lot about this. In fact, this scene reminded me of something. Do you remember back in the 90s you roped me into playing one of these things?
No, I don't remember ever playing a game like this.
No, you told me you were having a birthday party for Ricky Lake, and she was going to be there, and you said I should stop by and say hi to her. But when I got there, I thought I was early because it was just you, me, and for some reason a cameraman. Well, I remember it, Chris.
No, are you sure that was me?
I'm sure that was you.
All right.
Are you going to insist this was Meredith Baxter?
Well, do we have some documentary, some footage?
I believe we do. I did bring the clip, and
right.
because I remember it like it was just September 21st, 1996.
I am Trentarnius, a scholar of manifold disciplines, and spell keeper for kings and gentry alike. Centuries old, I hold within my bones the secret of longevity. In truth, the secret is that of a well I drank from as a child, and I seek rejuvenation from that well. But alas, the years have erased from memory the location of that whispering stream of staved-off mortality. I traverse these lands to uncover that long-forgotten place of crystal-clear miracles, where I shall drink once again and live anew. You are but a traveler on a fraught journey from east to west, weary but determined in search of the midway oasis of Al. Do you wish to proceed on this course of destiny?
Yeah, all right, whatever. So what do I do? Do I spin?
Oh no, you roll these dice. It's kind of like Yahtzee.
Ricky Lake's not going to be here, is she?
No.
Didn't think so. So, Chris, you don't remember that? Does that refresh your memory at all?
No. The 90s are kind of hazy to me.
All right. Well, it isn't long before Robbie and Katie are dating. I'm sorry, just Kate. And Robbie seems to have found a balance among school, his relationship with Kate, and the game Mazes and Monsters. In fact, if anyone appears obsessed with the game at this point, it's JJ.
Now, who is that? The little kid guy?
He's the guy with the hats.
The hats, right.
Yeah.
Right, which is exactly what you would expect. He's playing the Egbert character in this movie.
It appears, yeah. He fits more of the traits described in the actual news story than does the Tom Hanks character.
Right. What are we watching now? What hat is a cowboy hat again?
Fedora.
Fedora, okay.
Oh, hi, JJ. What's happening?
Oh, nothing.
Come on in.
No, that's okay.
The kid will be right out.
Listen, are we playing tomorrow?
Oh, gee, no, we're kind of busy. How about Wednesday?
Sure.
You sure don't want to come in?
No, it's okay.
Well, take it easy, all right?
Oh, that's Tom Hanks, right? So we see that he's sleeping with the other girl?
Yeah, but you see the talking bird.
Was that JJ?
Mm-hmm. He didn't want to wait. He seemed real down. Sometimes I can't figure him out.
Oh, poor guy. He acts so together, but he's really very lonely. Well, can you imagine what it must be like to be 16 and a sophomore?
Yeah.
We're all alone in the world. You know that, don't you? It's just you and me.
So, Steve, I picked these clips as I was watching the movie rather than afterward, which is sometimes how we do it. But up until this point, I'm convinced that this story is going to be centered around this guy.
Right.
So I'm trying to establish his whole train of, whatever. And then it switches right about now to where we start seeing Tom Hanks. They start developing his character more. And I don't know if we got those clips or not, because I stopped writing the times down. I was so confused and befuddled by everything.
Well, JJ's dorky friends do get together soon enough to resume their adventure, and in the run of play, JJ's character dies. So he suggests to the troop, is it a troop? Might be a troop.
I don't know, but it's important to realize that he intentionally did something stupid to kill off his character.
Yeah, he made that happen.
Right.
Just so he suggests that the players kick their game up a notch.
For sure.
And here we have that.
I'd like to propose a new game. Kind of an evolution of Mazes and Monsters, but we'd be playing at a much more sophisticated level.
We're not finished with this game yet.
Yes, but it's not the same without Freelick.
Well, let's hear the idea.
In all modesty, it's the most intriguing concept of the game that I've ever heard of. Something that no one else has tried. I propose we play Mazes and Monsters in a real setting. Pequod Caverns. I was there. I went in. Oh, it's fantastic.
JJ, those caves are too dangerous. No one is allowed inside them. We'll get expelled, not to mention getting killed.
They're perfectly safe. I walked around all inside of them. It's a logical extension.
Now, JJ hadn't merely checked out the caverns for safety. Did you pick that up?
He hadn't?
No, he went there with the intention of committing suicide.
I didn't pick up on that. Okay.
And he also wants the game to be realistic when they enter the cavern. So remember what he does?
Oh, he borrow. Yeah, I do.
Well, he doesn't borrow. He bribes.
Right.
I guess someone in the science lab at the school.
Yeah.
To then let him borrow. I guess borrow a real skeleton,
which looks suspiciously like a plastic skeleton. You judge for yourself. Were we playing the clip?
I thought you were going to say which suspiciously looks like Meredith Baxter.
No. Karen Carpenter maybe, but not...
Well, Meredith Baxter and Kate Secret.
Right.
So he borrows the skeleton after the bribery, and he hides it in the cavern in advance of their live-action role-playing. Here we go.
Perhaps he was on a mission such as ours.
Be careful, could be a trick. Some skeletons possess mystical powers.
You have 2 questions.
Is a skeleton evil?
No.
Is it helpful?
Was Meredith Baxter in Law and Order, the 1976 made-for-TV film?
No.
Where's the answer?
No.
No, again, no answer. Nobody knows. And yet I'm told I'm wrong all the time.
No.
Chris, anything you'd like to add to this scene?
Does this seem like a game you would enjoy playing, Steve?
It looks like misery.
It does not look particularly fun. No.
Tremendous physical danger going on, especially when all the yelling in a cavern. It might cause some sort of a collapse.
I think I would have enjoyed this game when I was like maybe 14, but you're in college. There's lots of fun things to do.
Yeah, and Robbie and Kate seem to be having a lot of fun.
Right.
But not for long, because Robbie breaks up with Kate. He says something like, "I can be in love with you without touching you."
Well, no, hold on. We gotta set this up properly. So his character in the game is a sort of a priest,
A cleric, yeah.
a cleric, right? And he has a dream where someone is talking to him and convinces him that he needs to live. He's confusing his character with his real life.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay,
We're going to see some of that, Chris.
Okay.
So as a cleric, his character would have to remain chaste. This is the first sign, as you mentioned, of Tom Hanks overtaking the JJ character, Chris Makepeace, when it comes to taking this game way too seriously.
Yeah, it's not really it's not well led into his departure into the realms of insanity, I guess.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And it's not just when he's awake, as you mentioned. At night, Robbie starts to have dreams where he's met with a shadowy being.
To attain the highest level, you must be holy in all your life. You must be pious, humble, celibate.
But I walk with Glacier the fighter.
The holy man must walk alone.
No, wait, please. Great Hall, I need you.
When you are worthy, then you will come to the two towers and be one with the great hall.
Wait! Hall, please! Wait!
So at this point, I'm a little bit undecided about this movie. It was at this point that I realized that, Steve, we've gone and done it. We've managed to find a movie so bad that even Tom Hanks can't make it watchable.
Not even Tom Hanks obviously talking to Tom Hanks.
You think that was him?
That was definitely him. It's very
sure it wasn't
Hanksian.
Meredith Baxter?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure you're sure. So the guy who sounds a lot like Tom Hanks is actually Robbie's brother. He died in a way that's never disclosed. I don't believe it is. But for some reason...
I don't even know if they said for sure that he died.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he went to New York and never wrote back.
Oh, that's what it was?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's even worse. Man, this dude's a carrot. For some reason, Robbie feels responsible. So his brother appears in his dreams to guide him toward redemption. Now, in the dream, he could just say, it's all right, don't worry about it. But that's not what happens. Now, the map that Robbie has been working on is labeled the Great Hall and the Two Towers. Now, I'm going to jump ahead and tell you that Hall is the name of Robbie's late brother or missing brother or incommunicado brother, as I've just learned. So there's that solved. The Great Hall is Robbie's brother.
Isn't it usually pronounced Hal?
Well, in this studio.
I don't even know what that means. Scowl?
Yeah,
Is that where we're going?
Yeah. And later on, the Two Towers is thought to be a Lord of the Rings reference. It turns out not to be, but we'll get to that. So Robbie stops attending class, and his friends become concerned, and they report him missing. They suspect he might be lost in the cavern, but they don't want the police to know they've been using it for their little costume parties. So here, Daniel has a chat with the detective on the case.
One of the players Robbie played with got carried away and killed him.
Well, that's kind of far out.
Mazes and Monsters is a far-out game. Swords, poison, spells, battles, maiming, killing.
Hey, it's all imagination.
Is it?
You make it sound interesting.
I'll be talking.
So that blonde guy in this scene is, he immediately starts banging Tom Hanks's the other girl.
Yeah, well, they try to make it clear that some time has passed. When they go out on their date, even though it's not really a date, when they first see each other alone, she says, "Oh," and it's really the next scene.
Yeah.
After they break up, she says, "Well, it's been so long since we stopped dating, so I guess we're supposed to think enough time has passed for that to be appropriate." But in the time frame of the film, it doesn't really seem like that long. Now, it's just a game, is it? This aired just after Christmas in '82. Imagine, Chris, how many parents had just given their kids a Dungeons & Dragons set. Perhaps they missed all the coverage of the shyster loon who faked his suicide, and now they're being told the game is a pathway to madness. Those parents definitely had a stern talk with their kids the next morning. And I hope those kids had a sense of humor and responded with, "Must feed the hungry hippos." Robbie's not dead. He's not in the cavern. You know where he is, Chris?
I forget.
He's in Times Square. Have you folks figured out where this is going? A couple of hooligans, they attempt to mug him. He flees, but they corner him in an alley, and this is what occurs. It was indeed self-defense. Now, I watched this several times to make sure that we have this right, Chris. The scene does switch back and forth from what Robbie thinks is happening to reality.
Right.
Now, in Robbie's mind, he's facing a monster and wielding a sword. But as it swings back to reality, we see he's battling the mugger and holding a kitchen knife.
Yeah, an unarmed mugger.
Yes.
Who he then stabs.
Yeah, we see the kitchen knife covered in blood, not the sword. So he actually did stab him. And as you said, it was self-defense. But just like in The Deadly Justice of Dr. Willis, we have an attempted murder that everyone just forgets about. It does come up one more time, though. Robbie calls Kate.
New York! Robbie, are you all right? What happened?
Oh, no, I can't remember.
Robbie, it's going to be all right. Where are you exactly?
There's blood on my knife.
Knife? What happened?
It's on my hands. I think I killed somebody. I know I killed somebody.
Robbie, just tell me where you are.
40th and 8th.
Okay, Robbie. Now I want you to listen to me very carefully. It's going to be all right, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Now, JJ, Daniel, and I, we're going to come and get you just as soon as we can. It's going to be all right.
Good.
I want you to listen
Chris, word of warning. If you ever call me in a panic because you're pretty sure you just killed somebody, I'll have questions. None of which will be, where are you? And my sign-off most definitely won't be, okay, stay there. I'll wake up all of our mutual friends and accessorize them. Then we'll come aid and abet you. I might stop along the way to racketeer just for the hell of it. But when we get there, we'll obstruct the hell out of justice. No, Chris, I'm probably just going to tell you to turn yourself in.
It's probably good advice. Now, as we're skipping through this movie, you might find it jarring that Tom Hanks, who he started off this movie much like he started off in Bosom Buddies, or not Bachelor Party, right? Yeah, like his, the fun character. And it wasn't any different watching this. Like, even though we're skipping through these clips, watching this, it was just as jarring. He just went from normal to insane without any real. He didn't feel. You know what it reminded me of? Do you ever see that Star Wars movie? It's supposed to be where Anakin turns into Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like all of a sudden strolls in and like, oh, now I'm Darth Vader. And you're like, wait, what? Like that didn't seem set up very well. It reminded me a lot of that, where it wasn't a believable transformation.
Darth Vader, of course, played by Meredith Baxter.
Right.
So I'm kind of lost on this part. They go to New York. Robbie's friends, they can't find him.
Well, yeah, it's a big place.
Well, right, but he said I'm at 40th and 8th. All right, so they convene at JJ's Manhattan residence. Now, the white room we saw earlier.
Oh, that's the kid with the hats?
Yeah. Right. That white room has been redone to resemble the set of Casablanca.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was, yeah. They're trying to figure out where in New York City in 1982 a wandering carrot looking for the two towers might be going.
St. Patrick's Cathedral. That's something he would have seen?
Along with 100 other churches. Remember, he's on a quest. He's not going to stop to pray.
I just hope the cops don't have him.
We would have heard.
I'm out of ideas.
We can't give up. He's one of us.
But where do we look?
I don't know. We've got to try. Two towers. Wait, not the book. Real. Oh, where's my brain? The two towers are the Twin Towers. The World Trade Center. Pardue is...
Going to join his brother?
The Great Hall, who's probably dead.
Let's go.
Yeah, you better hurry up. The clock's ticking louder than you think. It'd be great if one of them insisted over and over that Robbie was hiding inside the Winter Garden Theater, and if they should all go there, probably at 7 that night.
Now and forever.
Yeah, it turns out he doesn't really think Robbie's there. He just wants to see cats.
Now, did we skip past the scene where Robbie somehow ends up underneath the subway?
Yeah, we did. He's.
How lost are you? Or do you end up underneath the subway? Like, I don't know if it was he's supposed to be in the sewers or just below the subway. But
I don't know where he's supposed to be, but I think that feeds into the thing his brother said in that hallucination about the great city underground.
Mm.
So he does meet a hobo who's clearly insane and gives him advice on how to get to the two towers.
No, I don't think that's what a hobo is, man.
Well, maybe not a hobo. I guess
I believe hobos ride the rails.
Yeah. This guy...
This guy's just straight up homeless.
Yeah, he was a derelict.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Robbie's friends head down to the South Tower where they get excellent parking. Now, you'll have to watch the film yourself to catch that little improbability. But they run to the roof where they find Robbie just in time.
Robbie! Pardue! What are you doing?
Going to join the Great Hall.
You can't. It's a trap.
Pardue is his character.
I have spells. I'm going to fly.
You don't have enough points. I am the maze controller.
Maze control?
Yes. And I have absolute authority in this game.
Game?
Game.
Game? Oh, you know what? Screw you, moron. Just do the world a favor and stand right there for about 19 years.
Yeah, I got to say, all the good memories I had of the Twin Towers are wiped out by this movie. Also, that's a dangerous game this kid's playing to... let's engage with his psychosis in order to talk him down from suicide, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of...
let's play along. And
yeah, it's bolstering the lunacy.
Join in his fantasy world.
Yeah, conditioning him positively. So Robbie is indeed saved. He goes to therapy, but he doesn't return to school. His friends go to visit him, and here's what they find.
You look terrific.
Chris,
Yeah, you really do.
Freelick! Aren't you dead?
However much you want to love.
Didn't you die when you leaped into the pit?
Hey, come on, Robbie. Stop fooling around.
It is you, Freelick. You have been restored to the living. Whoever did that is a great holy man. A greater holy man even than I.
Oh, Glacier. Nimble, too. Perhaps you are preparing for yet another quest?
Oh, Robbie.
Glacier, has someone placed a spell of forgetfulness on you? I am Pardieu, the holy
Robbie.
man. I've had many strange encounters since last we met. A great dragon, a Gorville.
To make this dialogue sound believable.
This is a good place to stay.
He's been proven to be fantastic.
Warm, very clean. The food is good and plentiful. Oh, Friedrich, I have something you may be interested. I have an eternally renewing coin. Every night, I give it to my innkeeper's wife to pay for my lodging, and every morning when I awake, it is in my pouch again. Well, shall we not begin the quest?
Maybe his parents should be doing that.
Robbie.
Don't put the coin back. You're confusing the guy.
This lake is enchanted, and beyond there you see the great forest. Now, the innkeeper and his wife fear the forest, and they warn me to stay away. I feel there must be some evil force dwelling within it. If we could vanquish that evil, the innkeepers and his wife could live happily and in peace. Do you know of this forest?
Yes. I am the maze controller.
Once again,
There is a...
Kingdom of the...
to join him in lunacy.
Right.
You can stop it, Jim, I guess. I think they just run away into the forest and play this Maze and Monsters again at the end. That's how it ends, right. Which I kind of liked. I kind of liked that. Like, you kind of expect him to be like, "Oh man, I was pretty fucked up back there," right? Like at the end, some kind of happy ending. But instead, he's I guess he's going to stay nuts. And that's the end of it.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts before we rate this one?
Oh yeah, I forgot to come up with a rating.
Well, now's the time, Chris.
Yeah. No, let me think for a little bit. You go.
Okay, I'll give mine. I give it 2 Meredith Baxters. It was all right. I take issue with the film's role in perpetuating the falsehood that playing games could lead to insanity, as opposed to exposing an already present mental illness. Anything could have triggered Robbie's mania. If he'd played a game of Monopoly, he'd have spent the rest of his life thinking he's a property-owning boot. And I'd like to have seen that point made instead of stoking unfounded hysteria. Chris?
Well said. I'm going to go ahead and give it 3. I did find it one of the more entertaining ones that we watched. Bad acting aside, you also had some great acting from Tom Hanks. And I thought it was, not that bad. I like the ending. So, yeah, I'm going to go with 3.
All right. In that case, anything we didn't talk about you might want to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Well, then I think we did it.
All right.
Join us next time. We'll have another movie of the week. It hasn't been chosen yet, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit among ourselves. Thanks so much for joining us. For Chris Morgani, Jim, I'm Steve Rees. Askiwiwi.
Askiwawa.
Wally Magano.
Eat 'em raw.
Sort of. That was almost it. Okay.